In the previous lecture, we talked about ovule, megasporangium. Now, in this lecture, we'll talk about megasporogenesis and the development of female gametophyte. Here you can see I have drawn the pictures from NCERT. How is the female gametophyte development occurs? Now, let us start a class with megasporogenesis. We will see what is megasporogenesis, right? Now, what is megasporogenesis means? It is the formation of megaspores from megaspore mother cell by meiotic division. Now, if you recollect the diagram of the megasporangium or the ovule, right? This is the ovule, anatropous ovule I am trying to draw. Nucellus I draw. This is one integument and this is the other integument. This is the stalk which is called as funicle. The point where the funicle joins to the body is called hilum. The place where integuments are absent is called micropyle. The opposite end is called callosal end. This is the nucellus, right? Now, in the nucellus, you have many cells. What is this, children? This is nucellus. What is this together? Ovule, which is also called megasporangium. Okay, na? Now, this is ovule. The body of the ovule contains nucellus. Now, one cell of the nucellus, which is hypodermal. Hypo means below, right? One cell of the nucellus, which is at the hypodermal region. This is the cell I am drawing. There are many cells. So, let us draw some small cells here. All these are the nucellar cells, okay? All these are the nucellar cells. We are telling one cell in the nucellus, which is at the hypodermal region. I am talking about this cell. Now, this cell develops into archisporial cell. This cell, it is developing into what cell? It is called as archisporial cell. Where is that archisporial cell present? It is present in the hypodermal region of the nucellus. Where is it present? The archisporial cell is located in the hypodermal region in nucellus. Towards the micropylar end it is present. Now, this archisporial cell starts division. When it starts division, it divides and it makes two cells. It divides and it makes two cells. One cell is called parietal cell. The other cell is called sporogenous cell. It has divided and it made two cells. The archisporial cell undergone mitotic division to make two cells. One cell, I am showing this, is called as parietal cell. And the other cell is called as sporogenous cell. Sporogenous cell, children. Now, this parietal cell will keep on dividing and it will add a mass of nucellar cells. Whereas, the sporogenous cell develops into a spore, megaspore or megaspore mother cell. Okay. So, the archisporial cell divided into parietal cell and sporogenous cell. This parietal cell will divide and it will add a mass of nucellar cells, whereas the sporogenous cell will develop into megaspore mother cell. This sporogenous cell develops into megaspore mother cell. It develops into megaspore mother cell. Sometimes the archisporial cell itself directly develops into megaspore mother cell. Sometimes the archisporial cell itself directly develops into megaspore mother cell. Now, did you understand? We are talking about megasporogenesis. What is megasporogenesis? It is the process of, what is this? It is the process of formation of megaspores. It is a process of formation of megaspores from where? From megaspore mother cell by which division? By meiotic division. By meiotic division, where? Inside the ovule or inside the nucellus. In the nucellus. is called megasporogenesis. So the process of formation of megaspore from megaspore mother cell. We are trying to locate where is megaspore mother cell. Megaspore mother cell is in the ovule. It is at the hypodermal region. One nucella cell at the hypodermal region towards the micropylar end develops into an archisporial cell. That archisporial cell can directly develop into MMC, megaspore mother cell, or it can make a parietal cell and sporogenous cell. Parietal cell will add the nucellar content. Sporogenous cell will behave like a megaspore mother cell. Now, in NCERT, they directly showed us this picture. Now, let us see this picture. In NCERT, they showed us this picture and they're telling this is nucellus. This is nucellus and this is the micropylar end. So, we know this is the micropylar end. All these cells are nucellar cells. The same thing they showed. All these cells are, what are they? They are nucellar cells. And what is this big cell called? This big cell is MMC, megaspore mother cell. And where is the megaspore mother cell? This is megaspore mother cell, right? Where is it? At the micropylar end. It is at the micropylar end. That's what they showed us in NCERT. At the micropylar end is this cell which is called as megaspore mother cell. Now this megaspore mother cell which is diploid, I wrote here, undergoes meiosis, meiosis 1, meiosis 2. Now this megaspore mother cell has undergone meiosis 1. If the megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis 1, it will make two cells. These two cells are called megaspore dyad. What are these two cells called as? They are called as megaspore dyad. It is called megaspore dyad. Now this megaspore dyad will complete the meiosis 2 division also. The dyad cells will undergo meiosis 2. They will undergo meiosis 2 to form megaspore tetrad 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, after forming meiosis 2, now what you get is megaspore tetrad. Now, did you see formation of megaspores from megaspore mother cell by meiotic division inside the nucellus is called as megasporogenesis. How easy it is. Now, like that, you got 4 megaspores. Now, out of these 4 megaspores, now observe carefully. Out of these 4 megaspores, 1, 2, 3. The 3 megaspores which are towards a micropylar end. The 3 megaspores which are towards a micropylar end, 1, 2, 3, I degenerated. These 3 I degenerated. Only this is growing, it will become functional. Out of 4 megaspores, 3 megaspores will degenerate. 3 megaspores towards the micropylar end, degenerate. 3 towards the micropylar end will degenerate. Functional megaspore is towards the, if at this end if they are degenerating, functional megaspore will be towards the callosal end. So next point, let us write down functional megaspore. Functional megaspore is towards which end then? Is towards callosal end. Functional megaspore is towards the callosal end. That means in this picture is not there in NCERT. This is the one which I added. Rest all are there. So these 3 towards the micropylar end degenerated. This one which is functional is at which end, children? It is at the callosal end. It is at the callosal end. These 2 points are very, very important. These 2 points are very, very important. Now this callosal end megaspore. The callosal end megaspore undergoes, now this is what is called megasporogenesis. Now when we talk about the megaspore developing into female gametophyte, what is female gametophyte? Embryo sac is female gametophyte. So can I erase this? Can I erase this picture? Because we already finished this megasporogenesis. Now we are talking about how is this functional megaspore will develop into a female gametophyte, which is called embryo sac. What is that called? Development of female gametophyte. Now this megaspore, now it undergoes free nuclear divisions. What do you mean by nuclear divisions? Nuclear divisions means only nucleus will divide. Now this cell, which is having one nucleus, has divided and made two nuclei. See, two nuclei. Has undergone one more division, made 4 nuclei. Has undergone one more division to make 8 nuclei. So what it is doing here is free nuclear divisions. The megaspore is undergoing, this is a megaspore, functional megaspore. It is undergoing, what are these divisions called? Free nuclear divisions. It is undergoing free nuclear divisions. So they are mitotic divisions, only karyokinesis will occur. Cytokinesis later it will occur. So one division, one nuclei became 2 nuclei. Second division, 2 became 4 nuclei. Third division, 4 nuclei became 8 nuclei. Now these 8 nuclei, now they start distributing. When they are distributing, first 3 nuclei from here will move towards one side. 3 nuclei move towards this end. They make their own cell wall and they are the smallest cells of the embryo sac. What is this complete structure called? This is called as embryo sac, which is also called as female gametophyte. I will tell you why it is called as female gametophyte. Okay. So now listen. Out of these 8 nuclei, 3 nuclei will move towards one pole and they will make their wall, cell wall will surround around this nuclei, and they are the smallest cells. They are the vegetative cells which are located toward the callosal end. They are named as antipodal cells. Now which is this end, children? This end is called as callosal end. Towards the callosal end, 3 cells went. What are these cells called? These 3 cells are called antipodals. They are the smallest cells in the embryo sac. They are also called vegetative cells. They are also called vegetative cells of the embryo sac. So 3 nuclei distributed that side. Now out of this 4 nuclei, again 3 more nuclei will move towards this side. If that end is the callosal end, this end is called as micropylar end. So 3 more nuclei are moving towards this end. What is this end called? It is called as micropylar end. 3 nuclei towards the micropylar end and they make egg apparatus. Now what is this complete 3 nuclei structure called? This is called as egg apparatus. It's called as egg apparatus. Again 3 nuclei will come this side, they'll make their walls and they'll make egg apparatus. In this egg apparatus, 3 cells are there. The 2 lateral cells are called as synergids. The one central cell is called as egg cell. So this cell and this cell are called as synergids. What is this cell and this cell called? These 2 are called as synergids. Now synergids are on the lateral side, egg is at the center. So you can see here, egg is at the center. Now what is this called? This is called as egg. Female gamete. Egg is the female gamete. Since female gamete is there, you're calling the complete structure as female gametophyte. It represents the gametophytic generation of the life cycle of angiosperms. And since all these cells are forming from one megaspore which is haploid. Why is the megaspore haploid? Meiotic division happened. So antipodals are haploid, egg haploid, synergids haploid. So it represents the gametophytic generation. It is a female gametophyte. It contains 2 synergids laterally, 1 egg at the center. All the 3 are located towards the micropylar end. Now these 2 synergids towards the micropylar end, they have cellular thickenings. At the micropylar end, they have finger-like projections, cellular thickenings, which are called as filiform apparatus. Now what is this called as? This is called as filiform apparatus. This filiform apparatus, what is the function of this filiform apparatus? Now they guide the pollen tube to reach the egg. What is pollen tube bringing? It's bringing male gametes. Male gametes should reach the female gamete and lead to fertilization. So the filiform apparatus guide the male gamete, guide the pollen grain or pollen tube towards the egg. So they guide pollen tube. They guide the pollen tube towards the egg. towards the egg. That is one function of that finger-like projections called filiform apparatus. What is the second function? This embryo sac is in the nucellus, right? Nucellus, which is a nutritive tissue. So it absorbs nutrients through these fingers. It absorbs nutrients from the nucellus. It absorbs nutrients. It absorbs nutrients from where? From nucellus. So these are the two functions of the filiform apparatus. Now this is the egg cell. Now in the egg cell, we tell that where is vacuole and where is nucleus. Now see, these are synergids. How did you draw the synergids? We are drawing the synergids like this, and here we are showing egg. In the egg, we are showing nucleus here, and in synergids, we are showing nucleus here, and these are the finger-like projections, right? And here we are showing vacuole. Here we are showing vacuole. What is this end called? This end is called micropylar end, and the opposite end is called as Kalazahl end. This end is called as Kalazahl end. Now, we are not able to see here, but then vacuole will be here. This is vacuole and this is the nucleus. Similarly, this is a vacuole of the synergid and this is the nucleus of the synergid. Now, they can ask us where is vacuole and where is egg. So, we know that the Kalazahl end represents the basal end. The Kalazahl end represents the basal end. A micropylar end represents the apex. Means here apex is down, basal end is up. That means we are seeing a reverse picture, right? Actually, it should be in the reverse manner. But the diagram is like that. When you have to tell the representation to that picture, we will tell that in Excel, the nucleus is down, I have to tell. The nucleus is down. So, if I have to draw, keeping the Kalazahl end, I should draw like this, right? This is a nucleus and this is the vacuole. And here, these are the finger-like projections. Then this is a vacuole and this is the nucleus. This is a Kalazahl end and this is the micropylar end. Actually, it is this representation. Now, come on, tell me. Now, in this picture, where is the egg? Egg is situated below, right? In egg, nucleus is situated below, vacuole is situated above. Now, can I write here? Can I write here? Actually, this is the picture. Now, if you have to tell me from this picture, in the egg, where is the nucleus located? The nucleus is below the vacuole. The nucleus is below the vacuole. Whereas, if we talk with synergids, in synergids, where is the nucleus? In synergids, we draw like, yeah, here is nucleus and this is vacuole. So, in synergids, nucleus is above the vacuole. In synergids, nucleus is above the vacuole. Don't get confused. Don't get confused. What are we talking about? We are talking about the locations of the vacuole and egg. Vacuole and the nucleus in the egg and the synergids. So, when we draw like this, in NCERT the picture is like this. But actually micropylar end is the apical end, it's the apex end, and the Kalazahl end is the basal end. Means we have to see the picture in a reverse manner. When we see it in a reverse manner, whatever you are able to see on the top is at the bottom. Means here we are able to see the nucleus at the bottom. But in inverted when this becomes top. So that is why we told that the nucleus is above the vacuole. In this picture, the nucleus is below the vacuole. So that's what I am trying to tell. Take a screenshot first. Understood? Now can we erase this much content? Right? So we talked about antipodals. Antipodals are the 3 vegetative cells, smallest cells of the embryo sac. They are towards the Kalazahl end, and 3 more cells which are towards a micropylar end are called as egg apparatus, in which 2 lateral are the synergids. One is a egg cell. Egg cell is a female gamete. The function of the synergids, they have thickenings which are called filiform apparatus, finger-like projections which guide the pollen tube to reach the male gamete towards the female gamete. So these 3 went and made egg apparatus. These 3 went and make antipodals. These 3 came and made egg apparatus. Now, how many are left? This nuclei and this nuclei is left. Now, this nuclei and this nuclei will now move to the center. This 3 made antipodals. This 3 made agapritus. 2 nuclei are left out. So that means these 2 nuclei are not surrounded by cell walls. NCERT says that 6 nuclei are surrounded by walls. 3 will make antipodal cells. 3 will make agapritus. Whereas the remaining 2 nuclei are not surrounded by walls and they suspend themselves in the large central cell. So what is this big cell called? This big cell is called as large central cell. Now in this large central cell, this and this, the left out 2 nuclei are suspended. So these 2 are the polar nuclei. Then if you have to tell what are these 2, these are polar nuclei. The polar nuclei are suspended in the large central cell and they are not surrounded by any walls. Now count how many cells are there in the embryo sac. 1, 2, 3. This is the first cell, second cell, third cell. This is the fourth large central cell. And 5, 6, 7. So how many cells it is? 7 cell. Can I write here? 7 cell. Count the number of nuclei, children. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 nucleated. 7 cells, 8 nucleated. 7 cells, 8 nucleated embryo sac it is. So if we have to list down the characteristic features of angiosperms, what are the characteristic features of angiosperms? What are the characteristic features of angiosperms means, first of all, we can tell they are flowering plants, right? The first point what we can tell is flower. Presence of flower is a characteristic feature. That is one point. Presence of vessels is a characteristic feature, right? Presence of vessels in xylem is a characteristic feature. This is anatomical point of view. And presence of companion cells and sieve tubes is a characteristic feature of angiosperms. Presence of sieve tubes plus companion cells. This is a phloem component. Is a characteristic feature of angiosperms. Then 7-celled 8-nucleate embryo sac is also characteristic feature of angiosperms. So we can write it as 8-nucleated 7-celled embryo sac is a characteristic feature. Now this much big 8-nucleated 7-celled embryo sac is formed from one functional megaspore. Since 3 degenerated, only one from that this is formed. We call it as monosporic development of embryo sac. From one spore such a big structure is formed. So we can write it as monosporic development of embryo sac. 8-nucleated 7-celled embryo sac is formed from one spore. Monosporic development of embryo sac is also a characteristic feature of angiosperms. Then another one, we'll see it in the next further classes. Double fertilization is also a characteristic feature of angiosperms. We'll see in the next sessions. Double fertilization. Double fertilization is also a characteristic feature of angiosperms. Children, all these are the characteristic feature of angiosperms. Presence of flower, having xylem, having vessels in the xylem, having companion cells and the sieve tubes in the phloem, and having this embryo sac which is 7-celled and 8-nucleated structure. Monosporic development of embryo sac means from one functional megaspore formation of embryo sac is also characteristic feature of angiosperms. Then triploid endosperm also in the further classes we'll see. 3N endosperm is also the characteristic feature of embryo sac. So do you have any doubts? Any doubts? Post me in the comment box. So what did we see here? We have seen what is megasporogenesis, means from one functional megaspore mother cell by meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 how megaspores are formed we have seen. After the 3 degenerating and 1 become functional. That one will divide, will undergo free nuclear divisions and it will make a 7-celled 8-nucleated embryo sac. These are vegetative cell, don't have any role. Then these two are synergids, they guide the pollen tube which is bringing the male gametes towards the egg. These two polar nuclei will combine to make a secondary nuclei will combine with the second male gamete and helps in formation of endosperm, which is a nutritive tissue for the embryo that we will discuss in the next session. So what we have seen so far is development of the female gametophyte. Female gametophyte means embryo sac. Now when we have to talk about the types of female gametophytes or the types of embryo sac development, we will talk. If you want, take a screenshot first. Yeah, if we have to talk about the types of embryo sacs, let us see. Types of embryo sacs. Now, monosporic type of embryo sac formation is there, bisporic type of embryo spore formation is there, tetrasporic type of embryo sac formation is also there. So, three types of embryo sac formations are there. What's the first one? Monosporic type of embryo sac formation. Second type is bisporic type of embryo sac formation. Bisporic type of embryo sac formation. The third one is tetrasporic type of embryo spore formation. Tetrasporic type of embryo sac children. There are three types of embryo sac formation. Monosporic type, again we can divide the monosporic type of embryo sac formation into two types. One is polygonum type and the other one is called as Ornithera type. What are the two types? One is polygonum type of embryo sac, Ornithera type of embryo sac. Both of them, they come under monosporic type of embryo sac formation. What is polygonum type of embryo sac formation? This is a common type of embryo sac formation. This is the common type of embryo sac formation where, what do you mean by monosporic type of embryo sac? From one spore, embryo sac is formed. It is this what we know. 3 degenerated, only one is there. Where is that? The one megaspore is which is at the callosal end remains functional. That made 2 nuclei, 4 nuclei, 8 nuclei and made an embryo sac. What we have seen is a common type, polygonum type. So, polygonum type came from one megaspore only. So, it is called monosporic type of embryo sac. From where did we get this embryo sac? From the megaspore which is at the callosal end. So, what is polygonum type? In polygonum type, embryo sac develops from where? From the callosal end. Embryo sac develops from the callosal end megaspore. This is a callosal end megaspore. From here the embryo sac is formed. Then that is called polygonum type. The second one is called as Ornithera type of embryo sac. Now you can guess, right? What is Ornithera? So, in Ornithera type of embryo sac formation, it's not the callosal end megaspore which will remain functional. It will be the micropylar end megaspore which remains functional. That means, in this type of embryo sac formation, 1, 2, 3 cells will degenerate towards the callosal end. The functional megaspore will be towards the micropylar end, which is a rare type. So, Ornithera type, we will tell it's a rare type. But then, there also it is forming from one only. One spore makes embryo sac. So, where is that? The embryo sac. The embryo sac is formed from micropylar megaspore. From micropylar end megaspore. So, this is about monosporic type of embryo sac formation. Now, coming to bisporic type of embryo sac formation. What do you mean by bisporic type of embryo sac formation? In bisporic, we tell that like 2 megaspores will remain functional. 4 are there. Out of 4, only 2 will degenerate then. 2 will remain functional. So in bisporic, so 1 megaspore mother cell has undergone meiotic division to form 1, 2, 3, 4 megaspores. 2 will degenerate, only 1 will remain functional. These 2 degenerated, these 2 remained functional. From these 2, if you are getting megaspore, then that is called bisporic type of embryo sac formation. Or we can tell that like the spore has 2 nuclei. In bisporic, the megaspore which is formed, it's having 2 nuclei. Now these 2 nuclei will form 4 nuclei, right? So these 2 nuclei will form 4 nuclei. It will form 4 nuclei, right? And this 4 nuclei will make 8 nuclei, which is what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it will make 8 nuclei. This 8 nuclei will make the embryo sac. Then that is called as bisporic type of embryo sac. So again, we can divide the bisporic type of embryo sac into ileum type is one. We can divide this again into end meon type, another one. We can divide again bisporic type of embryo sac into ileum type of embryo sac and end meon type of embryo sac. What is ileum type of embryo sac? Again, we tell this is a common type. This is a common type. What do you mean by common type? Means the 2 megaspores which are there are towards the callosal end. So develops from callosal end megaspores. How many megaspores? 2 megaspores, right? That's called ileum type. And what is the other one? End meon type, develops from the micropylar end then. So this is a rare one. The embryo sac develops from the micropylar end. It develops from the micropylar end. Then we are calling it as bisporic type of embryo sac formation. Last one is tetrasporic type of embryo sac formation. What do you mean by tetrasporic type of embryo sac formation? In tetrasporic, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 are there. It's not 1 megaspore which remains functional and will make the embryo sac. All 4 will remain functional. Then that is called as tetrasporic type of embryo sac. So in tetrasporic type of embryo sac, 4 megaspores. 4 megaspores will form the embryo sac. In monosporic children, only one megaspore will form the embryo sac. In bisporic, 2 megaspores will form the embryo sac. In tetrasporic, 1, 2, 3, 4 megaspores will form the embryo sac. But what is the characteristic feature of angiosperms? The characteristic feature of angiosperms is monosporic development of embryo sac, right? Means it is this. Again, in monosporic we have polygonum and ornithera type. What is polygonum? The one what we have studied is polygonum. Ornithera means it is not the callosal end megaspore, it is the micropylar end megaspore. So this is in today's session we discussed megasporogenesis, development of female gametophyte and the types of embryo sac formation, monosporic type, bisporic type, tetrasporic type. If you like the lecture, like, share and subscribe to my channel. So any comments you can post them in the comment box. Thank you.